Diwali's topic was the season of lights and how that light illuminates the festivals we celebrate and the lives we live. We are indeed in the season of light. Lights on the Christmas tree, lights on the menorah, lights on the houses and the branches, even in the windows. Lights from the love of family and friends gathering to celebrate the season. This time of year, there is a veritable festival of festivals happening around us. And this list doesn't include the Festivus for the rest of us. It begins with Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, which is in October, where candles and fireworks and food abound, celebrating the return of Lord Rama after his crushing defeat of the demon Ravana. As Lord Rama was returning from the battle, the villagers lit a path for Rama, his wife Sita, and his brother Lakshmana. Oh, I pronounced this 50 times when I was practicing this. To guide their footsteps home and to celebrate the victory of good over evil. Today, Hindus light bonfires and hundreds of candles and shoot fireworks from the roofs of their houses in celebration of Diwali. On December 8th, Buddhists celebrate Bodhi Day, the day Siddhartha reached enlightenment while sitting in deep meditation under the Bodhi tree, the day he became the Buddha. The holiday is celebrated by stringing multicolored lights around the home, multicolored to reflect the many pathways to enlightenment. The lights are lit each evening for 30 days, along with a single candle in the home to symbolize enlightenment. Children decorate a ficus tree with colored lights and beads. There are only 3 shiny ornaments on the tree. 3 ornaments to honor the 3 jewels of Buddhism: the Buddha, the teacher, the Dharma, the teaching, and the Sangha, the community. A meal of rice and milk is shared because this was the meal Siddhartha shared with a peasant girl to gain back his strength and eventually lead him to understand the truth of the middle way. The pagan winter solstice, or Yule, is a holiday near and dear to my heart, one which, as you heard, Women in Religion celebrates in the common every year. It's a celebration of the return of the light. The longest night of the year gives way, and the nights become shorter as the days get longer. In the celebration of the Wheel of the Year, it is the day the goddess gives birth to the Sun King, who will eventually become her lover as she weds him on Beltane, and summer comes again. In our lives, we honor the dark aspect of ourselves and give birth to new ideas, new hopes, and a new light within our hearts. Hanukkah is celebrated for 8 crazy nights. The story behind the celebration is that when the forces of Antiochus IV had been defeated and driven from Jerusalem, the Maccabees came to the devastated temple only to find that nearly all of the ritual olive oil had been profaned. There was only one sealed vessel left. It took 8 days to press the olives to make new oil, and the Maccabees despaired that they could not honor God in their temple without sufficient oil. The one vessel was used, and miraculously, the vessel refilled itself each night until the new oil was ready. Jews around the world light 1 candle on the menorah for each of those 8 nights. Small gifts are given on each of those nights, and oil-rich fried foods are consumed. Think potato latkes and a kind of jelly donut called, and I know someone is going to correct me on how to pronounce this because I guarantee I'm going to get it wrong, sufangio. As the candles on the menorah are lit, a prayer of gratitude and blessing is sung. Christmas, of course, is one we're all familiar with. It is the celebration of the birth of Jesus the Christ, who in Christian theology came to rid the world of sin through his sacrifice on the cross. Christians celebrate with lights and Christmas trees and gifts and cookies and singing. Okay, it isn't just the Christians. Christmas has become a cultural phenomenon, one believers and non-believers love. Whether it's Santa bringing gifts to good girls and boys or watching A Charlie Brown Christmas for the 56th year, we love Christmas, even when we hate it. After all the stress and running and shopping and baking and worrying, when you're curled up on the sofa watching It's a Wonderful Life for the bazillionth time, you still cry when Clarence gets his wings. Go on, admit it. At least I do. Christmas is, well, Christmas. You can't escape it. A newer celebration in the festivals of December is Kwanzaa. It was created by a professor of Africana Studies around 1966. It honors 7 principles of African heritage: unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. The candle holder, or kinara, is placed on a mat on which other symbols of African culture are gathered. There is a unity cup and gifts for the ancestors. Corn, as a symbol of the harvest, is prominent in both the decorations and celebratory eating. Drumming and singing, artwork, festivals, feasting, lifting up African cultures are all part of the Kwanzaa festival. Each night of the 7-day holiday, families will light one of the candles and reflect on that day's principle. All of these festivals, these celebrations, these holidays have one thing in common: light. We humans look toward the light for hope and solace as the days darken. Imagine a world without these celebrations of light. It would be like Narnia under the rule of the White Witch. As Mr. Tumnus told Lucy, it's always winter and never Christmas. Can you imagine it? An endless steel sky looming over a landscape blanketed in white, always white. A never-ending cycle of shoveling and scraping and bitter, biting cold. In other words, an eternal February, with summer a distant memory with no hope of ever returning. The whole world would have seasonal affective disorder. This must have been how our ancestors felt, waiting and wondering if the light would ever return, if summer's warm breezes would grace their lives again. Without benefit of calendars, science, and the Weather Channel, winter could get pretty dicey. It's no wonder light became such an important thing. Light reminded them of days when food was plentiful, the plants and trees were green and growing, their bodies were strong, gone was the sickness and dying of winter. They could come out of their shelters and explore again. Even today, we have that visceral reaction. Light is summertime. It's the sand between our toes, the sun warm on our faces. It's beer and baseball and parties and long, quiet conversations under starlit skies. The light is good, it's safe, it guides our way. But there are other kinds of light, other than the ones we see with our eyes. Light abounds in energy and matter. Here's a little physics gem for you. When you take matter down to its smallest component, to a subatomic level, there are only particles of energy, particles of light, if you will, surrounded by an invisible, unmeasurable field scientists have taken to calling dark matter. Our very existence, our bodies, our world is defined by the play of light and dark. And yet, there is another less visible, less definable light, that which resides in each of us, that ineffable essence of being that some call the soul. It is here where the light is the most powerful. It is here where we can chase away the darkness. It is here where we can change the world. All of these holidays celebrate the goodness of the light and encourage each of us to strengthen the light in ourselves and in the world. We Unitarian Universalists light a chalice whenever we gather. It is a symbol of the light and hope and warmth and community of our congregations. But do you know where it came from? The flaming chalice was designed for the Unitarian Service Committee by the Dutch artist Hans Deutsch during World War II. The USC was instrumental in helping Eastern European Jews and Unitarians escape the Nazis. Because Unitarianism was such an unknown faith at the time, the USC needed a logo to make the papers of their couriers and agents operating in secrecy look more official. The Reverend Charles Joy, head of the USC, asked Hans Deutsch, who had never been to a Unitarian church but had seen the work of Unitarians in action saving lives in Europe, to design a logo for the agents' traveling papers that would, in his words, Make them look official, to give dignity and importance to them, and at the same time to symbolize the spirit of our work. When a document may keep a man out of jail, give him standing with governments and police, it is important that they look important. That flaming chalice began as a symbol of a life of service. And it is that light we as Unitarians take with us every day. Each of us is a beacon of light. That light is in our very nature as beings of matter. But do we know how powerful we are? Can we conceive of the brightness of our own being? We often see the light in others. I don't know, there's just something about her. She just shines. Or he radiates kindness. Or the joy just glows in her face. We admire these people, but we think they are different. They have something, a spark, which the rest of us lack. They are special or blessed. They are no different than you. Every single person on this earth is a being of light. Even when you can't see it, it's there. I've been struck by how difficult just getting along with people has become since our election. It's as if people we have known all of our lives have become strangers to us. People who we admired or laughed with or loved are suddenly no longer lights in our lives. We refuse to remember what they have been to us in the past because of how we see them now, through this dark filter of political opposition. Believe me, I know it's hard. But can we see the big picture? Can we look in their faces and see that light, that love they have, the hopes, the dreams we share? Can we look beyond that filter and remember who they were to us? It's my thought that a person is defined by his or her actions. Who you are, what you stand for, is expressed by what you do. The amount of light you have to give to the world is what you choose to give. I have very strong feelings about our election, as do many of you, but I am continually struck by the people who didn't vote the way I did. Not the monolith of people who we define as them, but the individuals I know. One woman I know gives the leftover food from the office to the homeless people she meets on the street. Another woman is a big supporter of MANA, the organization which provides meals for those suffering from AIDS and other life-threatening illnesses. Another gave a home to a suddenly poor friend. They are not all what we sometimes think they are. Life is lived in shades of gray, not in black and white. The light still shines, no matter what face it shines from. We need to encourage that light to grow, not to pretend it doesn't exist. Our chalice lighting today was from Edith Wharton. There are two ways of spreading the light, to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. We must be both the candle and the mirror. But first, we must acknowledge the light inside ourselves. So often we denigrate what we do, say it's not enough, or wish we were like someone else, someone who is just so much more than we are. But the light isn't concerned with what the vessel looks like or how it feels about itself. It simply shines. You have no idea how powerful you are, how fierce the light shines within you. But so often we hide it. We say we're too damaged, too shy, too incompetent to let our light shine. Natasha introduced me to that Leonard Cohen song, the one she sang for the offertory. It's called Anthem. And here are the lyrics I fell in love with. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And it's also how the light gets out. As your vulnerable places allow the light from others to grace your heart, it's your cracks, your imperfection, your damaged offerings that allow your light to get out into the world. Many of you know that I suffer from depression and anxiety. I am really, really, really good at beating myself up for not doing enough, not caring enough, not being as good as some of the people I know and admire. Just being damaged goods, you know? Who would want a gift from me? I have to get over that all the time. I have to remind myself that my gifts, who I am, is all I have to bring to the party. And no one can bring the gifts that I do. Sure, there's someone better than me. There's always someone better than you are. But they aren't me. And they aren't you. We are the light of the world. Together we can chase away the forces of darkness in ourselves, in others, and in the world. And here is where we can bring our own flames, our own passion, and our own fierce, brilliant light, and we can join together. We can be mirrors for each other. We can reflect that light until no darkness can stand in its way. These last few weeks, I've often thought of Dumbledore's warning to Harry Potter. Dark times lie ahead of us, and there will be a time when we must choose between what is easy and what is right. Doing what is right may become very difficult for us in the days ahead. It may take more courage than we think we have. But if we allow our light to shine and reflect the light of others, we are strengthened. Stronger, if you will, together. Nothing is going to be easy as we adapt to the new normal. But remember the Louis Brandeis quote, "Sunlight is said to be the best of disinfectants. Electric light, the most efficient policeman." We are the sunlight, the watchmen, shining our light to keep the darkness at bay. We will know the battles we must fight. We will know where we must concentrate our light, and we are ready. My friends, we are more powerful than we know. See that sign over there? We are standing on the side of love, and love is a powerful force. Gandhi said it best. When I despair, I remember that all through history, the ways of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always. In this season of light, let your heart and soul shine. Do not fear the darkness, for together we are greater than it is. Ignite your passion with all the love you can muster. It is love that builds the flame. It is love that furnishes the mirror. It is love that makes your light shine. It is love that will soften your heart and allow you to see the light in others' eyes, the ones you disagree with, the ones you've banished or forgotten. It is love that knocks the walls down. It is love that helps us catch a glimpse of who we really are, who we are meant to be. No matter how imperfect we are, how many cracks there are in our hearts and souls, the light will always, always find a way to shine. May your light shine strong and true in this season of lights. Blessed be.